So we all know gold has been making headlines in 2025, but there's actually another metal that a lot of people are overlooking, and that's silver. Right now, silver may be the most undervalued asset in the world, and today we're going to look at the charts, the data, and the history to figure out if that's really the case and what could happen next. So, silver has a history of, massive explosive bull runs, as you can see here in 1980 and then again in 2010. Back in 1980, prices spiked to nearly 50 an ounce, driven by inflation fears and the Hunts brother cornering the silver market. Then again in 2011, silver surged back to that same $49 level as the world dealt with global financial crisis and massive money printing. But since then, we've seen pretty much more than a decade of consolidation. But as of recently, that's starting to change. So one of the key ways to measure silver's value is by looking at the gold to silver ratio. Historically, the ratio averages about 40 to 1, but in recent years it's spiked to as high as 120 to 1, meaning gold became massively overvalued compared to silver. And whenever this ratio stretches this far, silver tends to play catch up fast. As you can see, we have silver here in orange, and then the gold is in blue. So, we tend to see gold making its run, and then silver kind of blows past it in like a sort of parabolic move here. Historically, gold, which is the blue line, doesn't stay above that orange line for very long. And as you can see, gold has made a massive run here and has really, some would say, gotten a little bit over its skis as far as this chart's concerned. So, that only leads us to ask, is silver going to experience one of these moves again next, which would, launch it into new all-time highs? So right now, silver's chart is showing a massive multi-year consolidation pattern, starting here with the run that it had in 2020. It's been building pressure for years, bouncing between this $20 to $30 range. And every time it tests that resistance, the pullbacks tend to get a little bit smaller, a sign that, buyers are stepping in. And as you can see here, we've recently broken above this $30 resistance, which has now started to become a support line. And then as you can see, this trend line starting in March of 2020, which we've gone under a few times, and then over, we've kind of consolidated around this line. As you can see here, this trend line is starting to show as support. So now we not only have this $30 support line, but we also have this trend line to act as support as well as we continue to coil and move up. The other thing silver has going for that, it's not just a monetary metal, it's an industrial powerhouse. It's used in solar panels, electric vehicles, electronics, medical devices. And as demand for clean energy grows, silver demand also grows with it, which many people aren't aware of. At the same time, silver mining output is declining globally with less supply, more demand, and historically low prices relative to gold. That tends to be a recipe for major price pressure upwards. And as you can see, Barron's and Financial Times are both calling for silver to outshine gold here in the near future. And even big name investors are starting to talk. Robert Kiyosaki, who is a gold and silver bull, author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad series, recently said he expects silver to explode in the coming months, driven by both inflation and lack of trust in fiat currency. He's calling silver the best asymmetric buy today, explaining that silver has a huge possible upside gain with a little downside risk. And, saying pretty much everyone can afford silver today, but not necessarily tomorrow. And the article goes on further to say that they expect these higher levels to be tested at some point this year, with the impacts of geopolitical risks and everything else, saying that buy on dip strategy is looking pretty good. They're also saying that, the recent rally was driven by a mixture of industrial buying, as mentioned before, as well as the safe haven demand and ongoing trade-related uncertainties. Some are expecting silver to even reach that $50 an ounce at some point in the next 3 to 5 years. So if we go back to TradingView here, you can see I've created a fractal from the last bull run of 2012, starting with the basing period and the consolidation, and I overlay it on the price action of today. As you can see, we had our basing here and we started to move up, tested the resistance level here a little bit, and then started to move forward. And then once it broke out of that resistance level, it tended to move upwards in a parabolic move here. Now, I'm not saying this is going to follow this pattern exactly, but, just based off of Kiyosaki's predictions and some of the other analysts, this may be a little bit early, but, it's showing that, after these breakouts, we tend to have a pretty powerful surge upward. This would put us above the highs of the last two bull runs and put us into new all-time high territory here, giving us returns of 50 to 70% from the prices that we are at today. So this is not financial advice, but just some things that I've kind of put together with my own research here. Silver follows the same pattern it has during previous breakouts, whether that was in the 1970s, the early 2000s, or 2011. It wouldn't be crazy to see prices move well above 50 an ounce or more, whether that be this year, next year, or in the next few years. The chart setup is there. The supply crunch is real. Industrial demand is growing. The question isn't if, it's pretty much when, in my opinion. Now, if you're thinking about protecting your savings with physical silver or even setting up a gold and silver IRA, I've linked a free gold and silver guide from Goldco below in the description. Not only does it explain exactly how the process works, but right now Goldco is offering a special limited time bonus of up to 10% in free silver on qualified purchases or rollovers. It's a great opportunity to diversify, protect your wealth, and take advantage of silver while it's still undervalued. So click the link in the description to grab your free guide and learn how the bonus offer works. There's no cost, no obligation, just real information to help you make the informed decision about your financial future. Now, if you want more videos about silver, gold, and the markets, go ahead and like and subscribe. Check out our channel for some of our another analysis videos.